All right. Great blessings of favor and of God's love and health. My name is Ruben Arana. This is Worship Word Art, the book cover edition. I pray that you are doing fantastically well. Thank you, everybody, for coming through. I see you, Marilyn. Yo, big shout out to Marilyn H to the Izzo. All right. Much love to her. And if you are catching this, you are can be catching this on I Am a Child of God. So blessings to all of the I Am a Child of God fam. Good to see you all. And of course, big shout out to all my worship word art family in Facebook. And of course, to those of you who are watching on my live feed, thank you so much. And then Periscope, big shout out and big love to all the Periscope fam. And big shout out to all the YouTube fam. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. We're going to be doing book covers for the next few days. So if you are interested in either having a book cover or getting some ideas about a book cover, or if you're interested in some Procreate techniques. I know I have some of my Procreate family in here too. I see you, Paula. All right. So if you're interested in any of those in those areas, this might be the kind of broadcast for you. I see you, Diane. Great to see you as well. And yes, Marilyn's going to be broadcasting in just a few moments. So definitely check her out. That's Marilyn H2O on Periscope. Awesome individual, great woman of God. Paula, you are one of the most learning est persons I know, which is fantastic. You are, I mean, this, yeah, it speaks highly of your character to always want to be learning. So that's awesome. That is fantastic. Okay. Click the wrong one. That's you right there. Okay. So today we're going to be dealing with a minimalist style, the minimalist book trend. And oh, hey, Sister Barbara Moore, Mother Moore is here. Great to see you. That's one of my church family right there. At big shout out to LFCC. Good to see you. Thank you. Thank you. Today was challenging. Yeah, you went through the gauntlet, right? In getting your training done. So congratulations again. I already said congratulations, but it's always a fun thing to do in public. So congratulations again, Paula. All right, so we're going to be dealing with a minimalist style of book cover. So if yeah, that's basically going to be defined by what we were what I was looking at in terms of the trend. It's defined by a very large graphic image, or well, not only an image, but also we're going to do like a face. So it'll be a face that takes up most of the real estate of the book cover, and then they tend to have very small lettering, right? So the title of the book, the author, any kind of like wording tends to be really small, and so that the focus is on that image. So that's the minimalist style. So let's go ahead and get into that. 32. Man, that's a lot. Oh, and if you don't mind sharing the broadcast out, that's always appreciated. Right? Whenever I add more things, more contacts, more spreading out, the connections or the sharing or the connections tend not to go out to all the people who follow. So always an appreciated thing right there. Okay, let's go ahead and get this. First thing I'm going to need is an image. And let's, if somebody has a headshot, right, if somebody has a headshot, they can use that. Oh, you know what? Let me go, let's go to the Facebook group and see who's, maybe we can find somebody in our group. Let's see here. All right. Who's got a good headshot? Oh, you know what? Z's got a good headshot. That's an excellent headshot. Let's use hers. Yeah. That's a book cover, like, yo, that's a book cover. Let's use that. All right, so I'm going to add and insert a photo. That's right there, and that's right there. Okay. Now, we could play around with the cropping a little bit. Let me duplicate this just in case I want to refer back to the original. And I want to see what it would look like if it was a little bit more focused on her face. And let me off center it. Okay, and this is the rule of thirds, right? So when you're looking at, actually, let me grid this. This might be, yeah, this is it's good to know the rule of thirds. All right, so you're going to have your canvas broken up into three parts. And when you follow those three parts, it makes it a lot. It's a little bit more balanced and easier and more pleasant to the eye, right? And so what that means is what I'll do is get the image, and if I'm doing like eyes or a headshot, I'll try to get the image in one of these quadrants. If I'm doing something that's landscape, for example, I'll do the horizon on on one of these thirds. So if I was doing like a mountain scene, right, I would put the mountain scene there, or I would put the mountain scene up here, depending on what I'm working on. So that's my third. So here I have this image, and the strongest look right now is, of course, the eyes. Right. So I'm going to put the eyes on the third somewhere. So right around there is the third. But I also want something a little bit more interesting, so I can slide this right over there and get her on that first third. So now she's on a third here and the third there. All right, so that's one possible look. All right, that's one possible look there. I personally, I'm kind of feeling the big face, so that focus is nice and strong there. Now I'm going to put her nose, the half of her face, on the third here, on the left third. Her eyes are not quite in the middle, which is good, right? It's not exactly on the third, but it's not right in the middle. Her middle would be right here, right? That middle is not as pleasing, so I'm going to put it, and I do want the top of her head, so I'm going to put that right around there. That I do like. Let me try one more crop and see what happens if we really just focus on her face. Now, when I get this big, it's going to be hard to put it into the thirds. I can basically put her eyes in the third. But that's probably the best I could do. So there's another possibility. But I think this one works the best. Right. You like it further back? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think this one works the best. Okay, cool. So now we can play around with some monochromatic ideas. So let's say we can have a black and white. Ooh, I like that black and white though. All right, let me duplicate that just in case. Go back to it. We can delete this, that. Ooh, I like that book cover. Come on now. Okay, I want to play around with some more hues though. So let's see here. Hey, Leslie. Kevin, hey, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. Let's see here. That's not what I want. Reduce the saturation. And then I want to okay. So that's another way. This is another way to really flatten the image, right, and give her really reduce the amount of distraction that the image could have, right? So now when we put the title of the book, it will be very much it'll pop out a lot more. So what's something prophetic? What's going to be the name of this book? It's going to be like a memoir, right? What should we call it? Like the a new a new challenge, or a new strength. Oh, let's do that. A new strength. Oh, keys to living in God. Okay, I like that too. I like that too. Right. But I do know Z, is very much into fitness, right? And she's one of those women that does security, right? And so I know strength is part of her story. So let's see about that. Let's call this. Strength. All right. So with the minimalist, the font is supposed to be really small, right? That's the minimalist style. And a memoir by Zelma. Yeah, I'm gonna post. She's gonna bug out. I'm gonna post this in the group, right? Let me see something here. Zelma Owens, right? I think it was Owens. Just double check. I'll put Put Z. Right. Hey, Michael. I'm not sure if I like the memoir by Z. Let me look. Let's look up some. Let's do some research. All right, let's do some research, and let me play around with this color too. So what I did was I went to the layer that has the color fill, right? And there's an opacity on it, so it's a low opacity, or it's about 50% opacity. And then I went to the hue and saturation brightness, and now we can play around with that color. All right, so we can do this, that. Yeah, green is not going to work, so definitely not green. I like that blue. And I do like this color here, like a coral, a little bit pinkish. The purple is good too. I like that. This is kind of fun too. Yeah, we'll do a black and white version too, because yeah, we definitely have to do that. Yeah, we'll definitely do a black and white version. All right, so now let's research. Ooh, let's do fonts. Okay, wait. Before we do the researching of books, let's pick a let's. Oh, actually, you know what? Let's research the book covers first, and then we'll go look at some fonts. So, memoir, memoir book covers. Okay. Okay, so you see how they did here? Most of these say, what they'll do is say a memoir. So these are the, okay, oh, this is minimalist. This is perfect. This is our example right here, right? So we have the name of the book, a memoir, and then the author's name. I like that. Actually, Michael, I just finished talking about that at the beginning of the broadcast. That's because that's an excellent question. Where'd you put that? Uh, that's an excellent question. And yeah, so if you check out the beginning of the broadcast, you'll see the answer. But I can tell you like really quickly is in is placing the face in thirds, right? So putting images in thirds. As a matter of fact, if you look at this image here, this book cover excavation, You see, even though the person is right in the middle, the horizon line where the beach and the ocean is, right? That's placed in the third of the image. So if you stay in the rule of thirds, you can do pretty well in regards to keeping an image interesting, an interesting look. All right, so a memoir, Wendy, or that's so what I want here is duplicate. This. Shout out to Felix Anderson. Uh, yes, it does. It does apply to other mediums. I use this. I use that. It's an art. It's an art term. So art, anything visual, art, photography, painting. Well, yeah, yeah, paintings and photography. That's they use the rule of thirds the most. Movies as well, cinematography, but cinematography is basically photography, but in motion. So yeah, so if you take a look at a lot of the movies, you'll see the rule of thirds being applied. Paintings and art, you'll see the rule of thirds being applied, and of course in photography. All right, so a memoir. Okay, that looks kind. That's actually almost on the done level. All right. We'll play around with some other colors, but I want to play around with some other fonts as well. Because because this font is really good, but it's a little on the it's good in terms of minimalism, right? But it's a little dated. It's a little bit on the old school style. So let's see if we can look up some other possible fonts. All right, so the website is 1001 fonts, and if you click on that dollar sign, you'll it's kind of hard to see here. Oh yeah, there you go. If you click on that dollar sign, you will be given a bunch of fonts that you can use that are free. So, and this will give you some more options that are not necessarily going to be the ones that are the default in your library. Let's go to font categories. Yes, 1001fonts.com. All right, so let's go to the categories, and hopefully you can see these. Yeah, okay, there you go. So let's try. Let's go back over here. Poster. Let's take a look at some of those. Oop, that's too much. Oh yeah, that's not going to work. I don't like those. Let's go to general and sans serif. Sans means without the sans serif means without the little extensions. Hey, Shellanese, great to see you. Vintage. All right, let's try some vintage. Let me look at some of these first. If you're not careful, you can get lost in this. If this is cool to you, right? You can get lost in looking at fonts for hours because you like you know what you want when you see it, but you gotta search through them. So finding the right font, that's not necessarily something that just happens. Hmm. Okay, so kind of like let's download this one, font text regular. So I'll click on the download there. All right, so I want to get I want to get three fonts, three options, and so let me see. You said go into the vintage. All right, let's try vintage. Where did I see vintage? Where was the vintage? Oh, there it is. Okay, vintage. Yeah, having a hard enough time with the pictures. Okay, yeah, that Ewart regular. That is a special one right there. All right. Ooh, that Perisphere regular. That seems interesting. Let's try that. Something a little bit funky. We'll see how that works. And then we'll do one more. Let's try something super funky. You know what? This is too funky. I don't think that's going to work. What's this African look one? Ooh, this is actually kind of cool. This back out print. Ooh, I like that. Let's try that. Okay. All right, so we got three. Raquel Royalty, great to see you. All right, so we got our three. We'll go back to our cover and go to add text. Edit style. At the top here it says, it's hard to see it, but over here in the middle it says import font. When you touch on that, you'll get all the ones that you just downloaded. And let's go from date. So oh, you know what? I didn't open the zip file. It was back out. What was the other one? Perisphere. And fauna. Funny. Okay, so now that the files are open, I should be able to go back here. Yep, there they are. So open that. Okay, so there's that there. And oops. Perisphere. And what's the last one? Back out. Is that it? Oh wait, we already did back out. Funny. Okay. Now let's delete strength. Let's stretch this out a little bit and make it a little bit smaller. That right there. All right. And let's try, which one was one that we just downloaded? The Fawny. Yeah, I don't like that. Black crown. Oh, that's kind of interesting. Okay. Let's duplicate this, this, and this. And then let's take a look at putting it in black. Yeah, I don't think the black is going to work. I think the white looks a lot better. All right, so there's one option. Let's do that black and white option. That would definitely need a black font. This would have to go up here. Something like that. I like that. Okay. Even though the color looks good, I just think it's much stronger in a monochromatic. Uh, the font, I just turned it to a light gray. Yeah, it's a light gray. Hey, Diana. All right, let me try one more font. I think something with a. I like Futura. Let's spread that out. You know what? The words can be in a color too. Something like that. Ooh, yeah, I like that. Okay. And let's turn this. Okay. Hey, Bree's here. What's going on, sis? Big shout out to my sister Bree. Hey, Terry. All right, I think we're good. So this is the black and white version. And this is the filtered version. And that is our minimalist style. Oh, you know what I don't like? A new strength, a memoir. That sounds awkward. So let's just do just new strength. Doubling up the words makes it weird. There we go. New strength, a memoir. All right. Birthing new strength. Hmm. What I don't like is how much space is taken over her head. I don't. Could make it smaller, but that might make it too small. Yeah, I don't want too much covering her face or her head. So let's. I like birthing new strength. Just want to reduce that. Okay. Hey Zal. Hey Kiki. All right, there it is. Oh, perfect time. We went an hour. So thank you everybody for coming through. I appreciate that. This is our book cover for today, our minimalist style, and we'll go into some other styles tomorrow or next week or so. All right. Well, yeah, no, Terry, that's a really good question or good point. What I wanted to do here was we're exploring 10 different book cover design styles. And this particular style is called the minimalist. And so it's supposed to be very bare bones, very not a lot of frills. So so the font I chose was something that was straightforward, clean, and simple, right? I think tomorrow I'm doing a tomorrow's font is a handwritten font, so it's going to be a little bit more flourish and all of that. So there's a bunch of different styles, and I want to just try to stay as true as possible to the parameters of that particular style. And since this one is called minimalist, I don't want to add more to it. You know what I'm saying? All right, everybody, take care. Good night. God bless. And Lord willing, we'll see each other again tomorrow. If you're not part of the Worship Word Art Facebook group, definitely do consider that. Go to the link right there. And this is where I'm going to post the book covers so that you can check that out. All right, everybody. Good night.